Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So we use this as a way of opening our sacred space. And the word Vaheguru is a composition of four different syllables. Each syllable has a particular effect on you, your physiology in a particular way. Va kind of starts from here, he, gu, and ru. It's sort of comes through like this. There's a certain pronunciation to it, which Sonia is probably the master at it at this stage, in my opinion. Um, but va he means like when you're in awe, you're like whoa, like that. Hey. And guru means that which takes you there. Yeah. So vahe guru is that which takes you there. So if we condense it all down, what takes you to pain and pleasure, what takes you to life is existence itself. No, it's not your doing. So when you get it, there's a sense of awe, a sense of wonderment, and a sense of gratitude that you have the life. Vaheguru. And Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So Vaheguru Ji Khalsa, those, so it said, those without the sense of self, those who have transcended their ego, they are what you would classify as unpolluted. Yeah, because the ego pollutes everything, good or bad. So it says, wonderment, Vahe Guruji Ka Khalsa, wonderment, this whoa, this realization, this understanding, is that of those who transcend the sense of self, those who become the Khalsa, those who become pure in that sense of ego. And in that is their victory. Yeah, in that is their victory. So, because this tradition comes from it has a martial aspect to it, right? It has a warrior aspect to it. It's not just all about meditation and stuff. It's also about living a life and being part and parcel of life, contributing to life, but at the same time taking responsibilities for yourself. And for your responsibility begins with your health, and that begins with your mind, which is why meditation is so critical. And with the mind, you also begin to then realize what your worldview is, the fact that how you think things are not necessarily the truth, that they tend to be basically opinions and ideas and other people's information. Very little of that is yours. So that way of life allows you then to work in an ethical way. And that means you don't exploit others or anything else for that matter, and you don't get exploited yourself, right? Self compassion, self care, self respect. And many times, I will hear people say, well, that's a bit selfish, isn't it? And yes, it is. It is selfish, but it's okay to be selfish. You're not here to be a martyr, no, because no one's going to care. No one cares. Yeah, you just used to be a martyr. Yeah, so what? Yeah, you give your life out for someone else. So this then brings about sovereignty. And by sovereignty, I mean where we are led more about by our sort of inner space, our intuition, our awareness, and we are less influenced by all the propaganda that's floating around, all the stuff that's floating around. So if you look at the tradition of the Nahangs, you'll find that they have their own water supply, they grow their own food, they have horses for transport, all this energy stuff ain't going to touch them. Just isn't. Because they're sufficient, like the Amish, they're sufficient. And the reason we go down this path is actually coming to, I suppose, bringing it to today's worldview, to what's going on right now. We cannot deny now that things around us are insanely expensive. Yeah, energy where people used to pay £1,000 a month are paying now 5 grand a month. Don't know how people afford that. Don't know how people afford that. You have schools yet to open. You have organizations. You have restaurants. How long do you think this will work? Right? So we are there now. We are there now. We have kind of slowly allowed ourselves to walk into an emerging emergency. And it will be an emergency for many people. You know, when you see a bill for 5,000 quid as a business, that is barely making ends meet, that's a big, big commitment. So the impact of what's happening and what's going on, whether we see it or not, is manufactured. Whether you see it or not, sooner or later you'll get it. Everyone will get it sooner or later, but it's manufactured. It's manufactured. It's the pride and arrogance of individuals who consider themselves to be superior to mere human beings who are now dictating where humanity needs to go. So the first wave of attack was your bioweapon. We all know what happened with that. This is the next one. So energy and food, which wasn't a problem 12 months ago, wasn't a problem 10 months ago, is now becoming a big problem. So where does this shortage come from? Unless it's manufactured. Existence is abundant. It just keeps producing. It just keeps producing. Every single animal that exists on this earth has had some food today. The earthworm, the termite, yeah, the butterfly, the bee, the algae, the whale, every single thing's been fed today. And it'll be fed tomorrow. And it was fed yesterday. Existence takes care of itself. So there are two ways to look at what's going on. There is a microwave to look at it, which is life is going to get a little bit challenging. You need to organize yourselves. That's all it is. It's not a big deal. Just organize, reorganize, and things will be able, you should be able to ride the storm. And it is a storm. There's only so much people will put up with. So just wait until the heat just gets heat. You know what I mean? And then people will deal with it. And we're coming to that point. So we don't need to worry about that too much. But the important thing is, how do you maintain some kind of understanding or some kind of support system for people around you? If we think our stability comes from our money or our car or our material possessions, we are going to learn that this may not be the case very soon. And stability you need to ask yourself this question: what provides me with a level of stability? When things are getting all over the place, where can I get to which gives me 2 minutes of stability? That's the question we all need to ask ourselves, all of us. And for some people, the security is to be with their family. For some people, the security is to have a big wad of money. For some people, depending what your security blanket is. And the reason I am suggesting this is because as anxiety builds up, so if someone gets a bill for 5,000 quid instead of £500, as the anxiety builds up, it makes people unwell. It makes people react in ways and act in ways that they wouldn't normally do. Right? So if you've got children at home and you haven't got enough money and you need to feed them, then what do you do? What do you do? And yes, we have food banks, which is an absolute disgrace to have that in one of the richest countries in the world. But reality is that how far can the food banks go when you have so many people in poverty? So these are real issues that are emerging right now, and we would be foolish to ignore them. So what can we do? We can't change what's happening. What we can do is start organizing, right, things we can see likelihood of these challenges arising. So where do I find my stability? What gives me the grounding? What allows me to remain grounded while the chaos is unfolding around me? Because it is now, right? You can only ignore it for a while until it gets right to your neighbor. And then you can't ignore it. Yeah. So What that's the question. So the first priority, I would say, as we are moving from autumn into winter, is connect to that which gives you stability. And if that's prayer, so be it. If it's your religious community, so be it. But ultimately, remember that without community, without others, what can you stabilize yourself with? Now, this is where things like meditation become invaluable. Because one thing you will know is throughout your meditation, that if you do 100 sessions, you'll have at least 20 of them where there is a level of safety, stability, security, peace, contentment, etc., etc. And it's consistent. It's consistent. So, which means that's the basis of your essence or what you are. So, when things get too much, meditation helps when you're falling. Yeah, meditation helps when you're falling. So, all those people who've done anything with me will know that there's a very short technique called sober that you use when things get overwhelming. You become present, you see what's going on with your thoughts, with your emotions, with your sensations. So, you objectify this. So, you step behind. And this is going to be an increasingly necessary tool as more and more of the unhinging becomes apparent, which you can see it's happening already. So, meditation provides us this possibility of finding this stability. More importantly, it allows us to find a level of trust. Because while all this is going on at a micro level, yes, it's planned, it's orchestrated, it's manufactured, it's engineered, but at a macro level, at a bigger level, all of it is as it needs to be. Can't deny that. It is exactly as it needs to be in order for the transition to take place, in order for the change to take place. We cannot all live, dream in this dreamland that we can go around exploiting anyone, everyone, have continuous wars, have not a second thought of people being burnt alive. Just not a second thought. That needs to change. And that arrogance has what's brought us to this point. And yes, those people who are the culprits of foisting this, they are being exposed day by day. And let them be more and more exposed. And sooner or later, everyday human beings will wake up and will say, no, I don't think I want to live like this. Yeah, there's enough energy. Apples ain't going to disappear. There's enough stuff going on. Everything will keep repeating itself. But this pattern of barbarism, this pattern of not being accountable and not holding those who are doing this accountable is what's brought us where we are today. So, through this vaxxx, which began, right, which then becomes, transcending the ego. Why do we transcend the ego? So we begin to meditate, so we begin to see the patterns of ego. And all that's happening around us is just a big ego trip. The blokes with bigger weapons on one side are threatening those who, it's just ego trip. We ain't going to buy your oil, but we'll freeze our people. Is that an ego trip or what? Yeah, out of spite, I'm not going to buy your oil and let my people starve. Let them die over winter, but I am a man of principle. Whose principle? Just think about it. And I think this is where the realization begins to dawn. That why are individuals making such huge changes and decisions that affect you and your children and your great grandchildren? Who gives them that responsibility? Who's given them that freedom to do that? That complacency is what's going to be challenged and is being challenged now. What was done to indigenous cultures over hundreds of years is now being done to the whole world. That's what it's colonization, global colonization. That's what's going on. Those who get colonized. Those who don't, don't. But this is really what's going on. But always go back to that one space. All that is happening needs to happen exactly as it's happening. Yeah. And within this, we also begin to realize within this macro worldview, nothing lives, nothing dies. Everything is simply a cycle. Yeah. So don't get too attached to your ego. The more you attach your ego, your sense of security to other things, to your friends, to your money, etc., the more it'll be wobbled. So better to start transcending. You are your trust, you are your truth, and you are your own certainty. And whenever you look within yourself, you will always find things are fine. It's just outside, it's insane. But things inside are pretty much fine. Okay, let's begin our meditation. So, once again, to allow us to come back to this similar, consistent, friendly, our friendly space. Okay, so you first take a good note of where you are within yourself, where the mind is, how you feel within yourself. Okay. How comfortable do you feel within yourself? So, next breath in, bringing your focus to your whole sense of self. So, that's your body. So, we begin to first notice the body. And as we notice the body, we're sensing it, we begin to notice if there's anything dominant, like a pain, an ache, um, sometimes a tightness, a stitch. Just take your time becoming aware of anything that's dominant, and then just take a brief view of your inner space, how you feel within yourself, and where the mind, the self talk, sense of self is today, at this moment. What thoughts are floating around, if any? Okay, our intention is to just become aware of what's going on in the present moment. That's all there is. So, next breath in, now bringing your focus to your seat, and you will begin to notice that the body has some dominant sensations where your body makes contact with whatever you're sitting on. And from there, if you just allow this awareness to move upwards, so you become aware of your hips. Now, this is a deliberate scan, it's like a diagnostic that we carry out upon ourselves. And all we need to look for is anything that's dominant. Sometimes there are sensations like a pulsation or a tightness. Notice them. And then as you breathe out, allow this awareness to travel down your thighs, moving gently towards your knees. Again, you're scanning your thighs. From your knees, you move down towards your ankles, scanning the calves of your legs. And then from your ankles, moving down to your feet. And then finally to the soles of your feet. Next breath in, coming back to your seat again. And locate yourself here and now. So becoming aware of whatever you're sitting on, how firmly it's held in place, how you are firmly held in place. The environment around you, whether you feel cold or warm, is because you are held by the environment, the air, the temperature, becoming aware of that. Locating yourself here, locating yourself in the now. Notice that your back is straight, and as you breathe in, you allow this awareness to move up your back towards your middle back. Again, remember you're waiting, scanning, simply scanning your back, moving up towards your shoulder blades, noticing anything that's dominant. No judgment, no commentary. And then notice your shoulders. And from your shoulders, allow your awareness to move down towards your elbows, scanning all the way, diagnostic. From your elbows, moving down to your wrists. Notice the palms. Notice the fingers. And then gently bringing this focus up towards your eyes. Notice the darkness. The fact that you have awareness of the back of your eyelids. In other words, you are awareness. Recognize the awareness. As you breathe out, allow this part of the body to soften. Next breath in, coming towards your mouth. Notice your lips first. Allowing your awareness to move within your mouth. Notice the sensations on the roof of your mouth. Sensations within your mouth, on the insides of your cheeks. Notice your tongue. Does it feel firm? Allow it to soften. See if you can scan your tongue from the back all the way to the tip, taking your time. And then on your next breath out, allow your face to soften. Next breath in, once again becoming aware of your whole sense of self. From the top of your head to your toes, as best as you can. Notice anything dominant. Next breath in, bringing your focus to your inner space. moving from your sensations to your thoughts and emotions. Bring your focus towards your thoughts. What's occupying your mind, if anything? How does your mental space feel? Do you feel tired, exhausted, fatigued, fresh, clear, attentive, drowsy, alert? Bringing your focus towards your chest, holding your focus on the surface of your chest, and begin to notice the movement of the chest in rhythm with the breath. Notice how the chest moves as the breath comes in, and as the chest relaxes, the breath goes out. Notice the subtle sensations around your ribs as the breath moves in and the breath moves out. Then moving your focus a bit deeper into yourself, holding your awareness right at the core, right at the center of yourself, deep inside your chest. And as you rest your awareness there, notice how you're feeling. How does this moment feel right this now, right this moment? Is this moment enough for you? Do you feel settled? Do you feel content? Or you feel unsettled, discontent, right this moment? On your next breath out, opening your awareness to all the sounds and noises around you. Not looking for them, not judging them, no commentary, simply listening. Notice the sounds that are close to you. Notice the sounds which are further away from When you're ready, bring your focus just beneath your nose. Begin to watch your breath. Noticing the in breath as it comes in, noticing the out breath as it goes out. Allow the breath to breathe by itself, holding your focus with a little bit of effort, commitment to watch your breath. Notice how the breath breathes by itself. Stay with your breath. And gently you will find your breath will find its own rhythm. The in breath flows by itself, the out breath flows by itself. Notice that the in breath has a start and an end. Notice that the out breath has a start and an end. And if you were to follow your out breath all the way till the end, notice there's a tiny little gap before the in breath begins. See if you can notice that. Following your out breath all the way till the end. Notice how you're breathing now. Notice how the breath feels. Does it feel light or does it feel heavy? Does your breath feel fast or does it feel slow? Does your breath feel long or does it feel short? And now, as best as you can, connecting your awareness to the sound of your breath, listening to the in breath as it comes in, listening to the out breath as it goes out. Listening to the in breath as it comes in, listening to the out breath as it goes out. Listening to your breath as it goes in, listening to your breath as it comes out. On your next breath out, once again, opening your awareness to all the sounds around you, including the sound of your breath. The breath is your anchor, and yet you allow all that's around you to enter your field of awareness. Using the sound of the bell to enter the silence. Gently bring your focus just beneath your nose and sit with your breath in silence. Notice how you feel. Do you feel grounded? Do you feel stable? Is there an absence of fear, anxiety? Stay with your breath. Your next breath out, expanding your awareness to become aware of the whole body as best as you can. Notice you sitting in the same place you began. You can sense your body against the seat, sensing your thighs, allowing this awareness to move down your legs gently, from your ankles moving to your feet, and then the soles of your feet. Hold your awareness there for a few moments, grounding ourselves. Notice the back is still straight and upright. Shoulders, arms, hands are relaxed and comfortable. Your eyes are still closed. Your mouth is still closed and your face is relaxed. Coming back to your breath. And as you breathe in, you begin to sense your body. As you breathe out, you begin to sense your body. Allowing that peace and silence to permeate in the body. Breath comes in, you sense your body. Breath goes out, you sense your body. When you hear the next bell, use this bell to draw a few deep breaths in and in your own good time, gently open your eyes. Take your time.